Babysitter's Club Book 24 was written by original author Anne Martin. Even though she started using ghostwriters at this point, they don't take over the series for another few years. Anne used ghostwriters for only 2 books in the 20s, then 3 books in the 30s, 6 in the 40s, 6 in the 50s, at which point she was done with writing these things. Except the super specials. She kept going with those and wrote numbers 1 through 11, minus number 10. Because Sea City, here we come? More like Sea City, I'm going away after the next one.
Argofont Book Review, Argofont Book Review.
We begin with Kristy wondering about families. See, Karen's going to be living in Kristy's house for the next few weeks to make the little sister books easier to write. Too much of Karen has proven to be a bad thing, because now things are tense with the stepfamily. How can we get everyone to love each other again? Shipping Karen overseas is not an option. Then we have a Babysitters Club meeting. Even though it was spring break last book, in today's book, it's almost summer, which means vacation! Wait, we're not setting up for the upcoming summer vacation book? Okay, let me try that again. In today's book, it's almost summer, which means Mother's Day! The girls talk about Mother's Day presents for a little bit when Mary Ann crashes the conversation. She reminds them that her mother died when she was a baby, so nobody's allowed to talk about mothers around her. The only thing they're allowed to do is feel sorry for her. I thought the Mary Ann stuff was strange and slightly out of character for her. Yes, she has a tendency to be oversensitive, but she normally suffers in silence. She doesn't usually interrupt her friend's conversation to make everything all about her. Kristy handles the situation with her usual lack of tact.
We feel bad for her, but we don't quite know what to say. Sorry your mother died. Sorry the greeting card people invented Mother's Day and you have to feel bad once a year. Sorry we have moms and you don't.
Ouch, Kristy, don't say that out loud. Kristy gets one of her trademark great ideas. She starts explaining it to her friends, then interrupts the story to spend 2 pages describing everyone's outfits. Dawn has a necklace that says I'm awesome. We needed to hear about that. Kristy's great idea is to babysit their siblings in order to give their moms a day off. But since you can't say the word mother around Mary Ann, everyone has to dance around the issue, and the babysitting project morphs from let's help out our mothers to we're doing this for everyone in the whole neighborhood, not just mothers. No, it's everyone's invited. So now they have to invite over 10 families, ending with a grand total of 21 kids to babysit. Ugh. It is such a big job, they have to bring Stacey from New York to help them. Even though that means Stacey will be blowing off Mother's Day with her own mom, completely destroying the message of the book. Stacey's the main focus of 2 chapters, one where she comes to visit, and a weird chapter with Stacey waking up in Claudia's room. We hear everything Stacey does and thinks during this chapter, and how does Kristy know all this information? She knows exactly what Stacey thinks all the time? Creepy. At one point, Claudia babysits Jamie Newton. His family has a flyer for Sudsy's Carnival on their fridge. Jamie's sad because his parents can't take him there. They just leave the flyer out in the open to torture him with. Claudia's all,
Oh my gosh, let's take all the kids to the carnival.
And that's just what they do. The babysitting job takes 3 chapters, everyone has a good time, and Mary Ann decides she'll celebrate Mother's Day by giving her father a book. Babysitter's Club number 30, perhaps? Kristy goes home where Mom and Watson have news. They just adopted a 2-year-old Vietnamese baby named Emily Michelle. Surprise! We wanted to tell you about this before, Watson says, but we didn't, because we're irresponsible parents. No, seriously, they adopted a baby without telling anyone in the hope that a baby will magically solve all of their family's problems. That's a really bad reason for adopting a baby. Also a really bad way to solve your family's problems. Also, they went about it in the worst possible way, keeping a huge secret and making life-changing decisions without consulting anyone else. So yeah, this has bad idea written all over it. To show you just how little thought they put into the whole thing, the baby arrives tomorrow, and they haven't prepared anything. No clothes, no diapers, no room, nothing's ready. They'll just wing it when Emily arrives. You'd think people with 6 kids would be a little more savvy about how to handle 2-year-olds. Of course, the Babysitters Club is there to greet Emily, because who cares if this is a family-only event? Kristy's friends have to be there. They all agree that Emily is the cutest baby ever. The end. Postbook follow-up. This series usually ignores the fathers. The fathers are either absent or clueless, mainly because if the dads in this town were competent, they would watch their own kids, and there wouldn't be any need for babysitters. In this book, the rarely seen dads are charged with pickup, drop-off, making lunches, and watching the babies. Thanks, babysitters, for forcing the dads to do a lot of work for you. I'm sure they didn't want to enjoy a day off, too. Bet you $5 we're not going to have a Father's Day version of this book. Which is a shame, because the drama of Kristy's missing father is more interesting than the drama of Mary Ann's missing mother. I mean, I understand what the book was trying to do with Mary Ann. Only having one parent can be difficult, and you need to be sensitive to other people's feelings. But the way Mary Ann acted felt out of character. And furthermore, Mary Ann and Kristy have known each other for 13 years. You'd think at some point they would have talked about her mother, but no. Mary Ann acts like Mom died yesterday, and the topic has never come up before, ever. I liked this book, but there wasn't a whole lot of substance to it. I mean, there was a chapter where they decide which kids to invite, and a second chapter where they decide how to sort the kids into groups of 3. 2 full chapters of nothing but logistics? That's pushing it. Also pushing it is the fact that this is the 5th book where the girls have watched a large group of kids. If you include watching Mallory's Family, then it's more like the 10th time we've seen this storyline. But I'm just complaining. Overall, it's a good book with 2 major flaws, which will cost the book 2 points in my score. Flaw number 1, the adoption stuff was awful and tacked on at the very end. Flaw number 2, I didn't like how Mary Ann was portrayed in this book. Everything else about this book was normal, BSC fair. I give Kristy and the Mother's Day Surprise an 8 out of 10.